Good afternoon. Welcome to our Dell Music Lounge live audience. Say hello on the radio. We, of course, want to thank our friends at Dell Technologies. Our Dell Music Lounge is presented by Lone River Ranch Water, and today our live studio audience enjoyed lunch from Domain Northside from Culinary Dropouts. So thanks to them, and thanks to this gentleman who's standing by. 2 nights sold out at ACL Live. The second of those nights is this evening. He reminded me just a little while ago that it was South by Southwest, our live morning broadcast, which we just finished up, 48 hours or so ago. It was 2013 when he joined us for the first time live on air. So that's, I did the math, that's 10 years. Wow. And it has been 10 years that Vance Joy has been gracious enough to play just about everywhere we've asked him. South by Southwest for our live morning broadcast, backstage at the Austin City Limits Music Festival, here in this room on multiple occasions. And we even once took him over to Tyson's Tacos, where they offer free tacos if you play ukulele. And this gentleman plays some ukulele. So he earned himself some free tacos that day. A couple listeners came along with us. It was a wonderful afternoon. Without any further ado, that's all to say we're grateful that he's here. This, again, celebrating 10 years of Vance Joy is Vance Joy.
Thank you, Andy. It's great to be back. Thank you guys for coming. So me and Kelly here on the trumpet, we're going to play Missing Piece. I've been waiting for the tides to change, for the waves to send you my way. I see you, darling, but you pixelate. It gets hard to take these days, but we'll hold the line. I won't let go, 'cause I'll be there when you can finally make it on. And I don't mind, 'cause we both know that we'll be fine when you can finally make it on. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. You know when you're by my side, darling, nothing can bring us down. I remember happy wasted days, summer's golden haze in our eyes, lifting you above the breaking waves, memories floating back to my mind. You said, hold the line, I won't let go, 'cause I'll be there when you can finally make it on. And I don't mind, 'cause we both know that we'll be fine when you can finally make it on. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. You know when you're by my side, darling, nothing can bring us down. It's like when you're far away from me, I get lost in the crowd. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. Oh, I won't waste a minute when you're here, and we're finally in the clear, when every day is like the last. I just keep holding fast, because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. Oh, you know when you're by my side, darling, nothing can bring us down. It's like when you're far away from me, I get lost in the crowd. Because when I'm in a room with you, that missing piece is found. Thank you. Awesome. Another one up, second one off the rank, and then we have a little chat, and then a couple more. Exactly. Not to reveal too many mysteries to everyone. That's the secret behind the plays. Okay, well, do you want to play? I didn't talk to you about it, but should we play Saturday Sun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so this is, usually I play it on ukulele, but I think I'll play it on guitar today. Okay, I'm gonna start again. That started really badly. But is this live?
It is live.
Oh, that's good. That's better. This is the real live experience. That's what you want. You want it. But you want it to be live, but I also want to play this well now. So that's where we're at. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone out on the West Coast. I gotta get back, I can't let this go. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone, don't care what it costs. No ray of sunlight's ever lost, ever lost. So tired of sleeping alone, so tired of eating alone. I need to ask her, what's going on? Are we going strong? She felt like resting her head. My shoulder was the perfect height. We fit so right. So what's going on? 'Cause I've been undone. The long drive, the coastline, looking out at first light. Am I still on her mind? I've been undone. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone out on the West Coast. I gotta get back, can't let this go. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone, don't care what it costs. No ray of sunlight's ever lost, ever lost. Ba-ba. And still the memory's right there. She put the breeze in my head. No kiss was softer, softer than this. I'm reading her lips. Oh, each line I read. She left her books in my bed and her song in my head. I've been undone. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone out on the West Coast. I gotta get back, can't let this go. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone, don't care what it costs. No ray of sunlight's ever lost, ever lost.
Vance Joy live on Austin City Limits Radio from our Dell Music Lounge. In Our Own Sweet Time is the most recent record. There's a new Live from the Sydney Opera House record coming next month as well. And tonight is the second of two sold-out shows at ACL Live. So 10 years ago, you wake up early to play for us at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
It's one of, I don't know, a dozen gigs you probably played that week. Everything was new for you. Everything. And it happened in a relatively short period of time, meaning your success in America. How did you wrap your head around that at the time, and how many years did it take to process what was happening?
Yeah, it was such a great experience, that first South by Southwest. I mean, it was a big deal to go to South by. You know, when you're starting out as a musician, I'd hear about other bands in Australia that would get a chance to go, and I was like, whoa, they've made it, And so
I had a friend at high school who was, kind of randomly was doing well in music, and the year before me, he goes by the name Chet Faker. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to South by. I was like, oh man, I'm so jealous. I was like, I'm very happy for you. But I got to go the next year, which is crazy. And we had just me and the guitar and the uke, and my drummer Ed. He played keyboards for some reason, and so we got him dragging a keyboard around on 6th Street and from like pub to pub to pub, and I think we played like 7 or 8 shows. And at that point, it was like insane that we would have 8 shows in a week. But now I'm like, I wish I could do that again. And we played 15-minute sets. It was chill. I would have done more partying. But I think at that time I was just so, wow, got to get this right, got to make a good impression.
Well, you were young, but also it sounds like fairly responsible.
Yeah.
Were you ready?
I think so. I think some things you just got to do it, even if you're not quite ready or you don't know what is actually going to happen. You've just got to put yourself in the situation. So I think I had this great opportunity, just stepping into it. It was so fun, and I think at that time it was the biggest thing that I'd ever done. So I just sang my heart out, and it all worked out.
Some 7 or 8 years after that, we go into a pandemic. You're in Barcelona when it starts, or do you escape Australia and head there? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I was in Melbourne at the start. Actually, I flew back to Melbourne just as things were getting a bit sketchy. The cab driver was like, I think there's a couple of cases in town. I was like, oh damn. And it's just everyone was a bit on high alert, And but then things got locked down in Melbourne where I was living, and we did 6 months of kind of hardcore lockdowns. And it was okay. I just, watched a lot of TV. My sister lived around the street, so she would come and we'd watch Sopranos together, and I'd order Uber Eats, and that was a really good lifestyle. I think I was in a real sweet spot there for a while. But then about 6 months later, I went over to Spain to see my partner, and she'd been living over there for a few years. And when I got to Spain, I was like, wow, they definitely do the pandemic differently over there. They're like, yeah, we've got a curfew too. And I was like, you guys are all on the streets at restaurants. This is fun times. So that was good too. Yeah.
You did a lot of writing for this record while you were there over Zoom. I was looking at a Guitar World interview of all things the other day, and you were talking about riffs and how it's got to start there for you.
Yeah.
And now that I think about a bunch of the songs, especially the successful ones, they start with a big riff, but I don't think we think of you as a big riff guy because it's usually coming off of a tiny guitar.
Yeah, I know. I want to kind of promote myself more as a big riff guy, but no, I think, that's the way I've always worked. And I think it might not even be, it could just be a chord progression, but just say the song, Lay It On Me, I'd go. And when I first played that, I was like, that's awesome. I was like, that's going to be something, right? And then, 5 years of trying to make that into a song, and I just couldn't make it work. But the riff kind of sticks around. Even if you put kind of lyrics and melodies that aren't going to be the end result, they'll just wash away until the right ones come along, and that riff will end up being a song.
Is it more satisfying to find that riff or to find a clever turn of the phrase? I was just listening to Missing Piece a minute ago, and you've got that pixelate thing happening right at the beginning, which I'm assuming was an aha moment for you.
Yeah, it was a bit like that because I was doing it over a Zoom call, writing that song with a guy named Joel Little, who was at that time in New Zealand, and we were talking about the challenges of COVID or anything, but just being separated from people you love. Yeah, and then I don't know, that word came out kind of easily, but then you think, oh, it's good. That word, pixelate, has a bit more teeth, and you want to get those.
Well, because it's visual. We know what that looks like when something pixelates.
Yeah, you want to get those words, and so if you find those flavoursome, phrases or words, you're on the right track.
Is the bigger moment finding those moments or having them sung back to you by a crowd?
It's pretty good when people know the music. I think, it's all part of the same thing. For me, probably the most satisfying thing is when you complete the song. You might have the riff, but you need the You need that turn of phrase. You need the lyrics to like, make it a whole thing. And even if you've done that, and you've had the most satisfying, like, oh my God, I cracked the code. I guess if no one likes the song or no one hears it, then it's nothing. Like, doesn't really, you might just sit with that feeling, but it probably isn't until people connect with it as well, in the same way that you did, that you're like, okay, the full circle has been completed. So, yeah, it's an important part. The people singing is a big part, yeah.
Are you one of those guys that worries that this could all go away tomorrow?
Not too much. Yeah, I think I learned a bit about myself during that little COVID break. Like, I went back to a hotel after being in Spain. I spent 2 weeks in a quarantine hotel in Sydney.
As one does.
And some people like, it was torture. I was going crazy. I was crying, and I was like, I was loving it. I was like, the only problem was the breakfast came too early. They knocked the door at 8 a.m. I was like, I'm sleeping in. But until I rectified that situation, and then it was good. The cricket was on TV, and so I think, I don't know, like I'm ambitious, but I'm also like just chilling. So if I take a break, if people just don't stop listening, that's out of my control. But I feel like based on the last 10 years, it's like, even if it's slowly less and less people, that's okay until it gets too small. But I guess hopefully it stays above like 200 people at a show. So I guess I'm worried. I just want to stay within that limit, but that I'm comfortable for a while, I think.
You think that's maybe because you're not an egomaniac? I mean, I've never seen that from you, and the people that are most worried about it all disappearing, that what they're worried about is the adulation disappearing.
Yeah. I mean, the adulation part feels good at the end of a show, and you go, yeah, and like there's people like that. But I also realize that there's only so long you can stand on stage doing that, because people just start leaving. So it kind of is a good ego check anyway, because you're like, I get 30 seconds of this, and then people will be like, yeah, I got to go. So.
Are you somebody that focuses on one person in the crowd? I mean, I saw a picture of the Sydney show, which well, no, that's not the live album one. That would be a different show. I saw one the other day that was just as far as you could see people, there was people.
Yeah.
In your head, when you're looking out at those crowds, what happens?
I think I'm looking at different faces and like kind of locking in with different people. I don't know what other artists do actually, but for me it's kind of like you see people singing, and I think same for the band. Like they'll, like my bass player Sam will like have a little private joke going with someone in the crowd, and they'll be laughing, trying to catch his eye. So I think that's good, because otherwise you get carried off in your own thoughts. Like you start thinking about other stuff, and you're like, get back in the zone.
Do you ever look at the guy that's not into it, that was clearly dragged there by somebody else?
There's always a few people like that, and you can't do much, Like I don't want to focus too long on them, but you see them and you're just like, okay, next person. Just try and find someone that's into it. Try and find someone that's singing along. It was also funny because we had a guy at I think it was the Philadelphia show, the first start of the tour, and there was a guy on the barricade, like the front row, just like head in arms. Like, and who knows what his day was like, but it was just like, he looked so bummed. And the whole band was like, damn, this guy's killing my vibe. Just look above that guy.
But you didn't call him out?
No, because I mean, who knows, So, he might have been loving it, but yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not.
All right. Once again, live in our Dell Music Lounge, Vance Joy.
Awesome. Thank you. Alrighty. This is a song called Clarity. The day began like all the rest, a frantic beating in my chest, a panicked reeling in my brain, perspective lost but nothing gained. I was so stuck inside my shell until the ground began to sway. I realized what mattered most to me when the stars began to fall right out of the sky and the seas were rising up. I had one thing in mind, it was you, it was you, it was you. It was you, it was you, it was you. When the road began to crumble in
was only one person I wanted to find. It was you, it was you, it was you. It was you, it was you, it was you, darling, hey. The precious moments that we shared, you slowed time down inside my head. I wish I'd found this clarity while I still had you close to me. But I was stuck inside my shell until the ground began to sway. I realized what mattered most that day, when the stars began to fall right out of the sky and the seas were rising up. I had one thing in mind, it was you, it was you, it was you. It was you, it was you, it was you. When the road began to crumble in front of my eyes, there was only one person I wanted to find. It was you, it was you, it was you. It was you, it was you, it was you, darling, hey. It was you, it was you, it was you, darling, hey.
Thank you. Alrighty, for our last song, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having us, Andy. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Bill on the sound, and all the team. Yeah, go Bill. All right, here we go. It's been a pleasure.
I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dreams. Oh, 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 oh. And they come unstuck, lady, running down to the Riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Here's this movie that I think you'll like. This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy is running from himself. She's been living on the highest shelf. Oh, 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 oh. And they come unstuck, lady, running down to the Riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. I swear she is destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, lady, running down to the Riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. A lady running down to the Riptide, tricking her way to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. And I got a lump in my throat, 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Thank you.
Vance Joy live on Austin City Limits Radio from our Dell Music Lounge. Thank you both. Do you want to introduce the horn section one more time?
That was Kelly O'Donoghue on the trumpet. Yay!
All right. You will find them this evening at ACL Live at the Moody Theater, the second of 2 sold-out shows there. And like I said, there's a live from the Sydney Opera House album coming next month. And thank you. It's been a fun 10 years, and it occurred to me during that tune that 10 years ago we were all fascinated by the Michelle Pfeiffer reference.
Yes.
It feels like more than 10 years.
Yeah.
But, Vance Joy, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
We want to also thank Dell Technologies, and our Dell Music Lounge is also presented by Lone River Ranch Water, and we enjoyed lunch today from Culinary Dropout, which you'll find at the Domain North Side. We've got a bunch of Dell Music Lounges for you in the next couple of weeks. Check online, follow us on social media, go to acl-radio.com, and of course, we'll talk about them on air as well.